Hey maritime safety enthusiasts! Welcome to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security Channel's Ultimate Navigation Rules of the Road series. Today we're diving into these critical regulations that keep all vessels safe at sea. Ever felt overwhelmed trying to understand maritime navigation rules? You're not alone. When I was studying for my captain's license, I searched everywhere for clear, straightforward explanations, but found nothing but confusing terminology and dry presentations. That's why we have created this high-energy, easy-to-follow series breaking down every navigation rule into crystal-clear explanations. Whether you're studying for your captain's license or just want to understand maritime safety better, this information is crucial for everyone on the water. Rule 1. The foundation of maritime safety. Let's jump right into Rule 1, the cornerstone of everything we need to know about maritime navigation. Rule 1A, Universal Application. Rule 1A states, "These rules shall apply to all vessels upon the high seas and in all waters connected therewith, navigable by seagoing vessels." This means these rules apply everywhere: oceans, bays, rivers, estuaries, any navigable waterway connected to the ocean. Crucial point. Later we'll explore the specific definitions of what constitutes a vessel under these regulations. Some might surprise you. Rule 1B, Local Authority Powers. Rule 1B states that nothing in these rules shall interfere with special rules made by appropriate authorities for roadsteads, harbors, rivers, lakes, or inland waterways connected with the high seas. These special rules must conform as closely as possible to the international regulations. When navigating different waterways, you must comply with both the international regulations for prevention of collisions at sea and any local regulations specific to that area. This is crucial, folks. Rule 1C, Special Military and Fishing Vessel Provisions. This rule allows governments to establish additional station or signal lights, shapes, or whistle signals for warships and vessels proceeding under convoy, as well as fishing vessels engaged in fishing as a fleet. However, these additional signals cannot be mistaken for any light, shape, or signal authorized elsewhere in the rules. Important clarification: when the rules mention state, they're referring to countries or nations, not U.S. states. This is critical to understand as you study the rules. Rule 1. D. Traffic Separation Schemes. Think of these as maritime highways. Traffic separation schemes may be adopted by the organization for the purpose of these rules. Just like roads have lanes to keep traffic flowing safely, busy sea routes have designated lanes for vessels traveling in different directions. Don't worry if this seems vague now. We'll cover traffic separation schemes in much more detail in a later video. Rule 1E, Special Construction Exceptions. This rule addresses vessels of special construction that cannot fully comply with the provisions regarding number, position, range, or arc of visibility of lights or shapes, as well as sound signaling appliances. These vessels must comply with provisions that their government has determined to be the closest possible compliance with the rules. Why standardization matters. Imagine if every car used different colored brake lights in different positions. Chaos would ensue. The same principle applies at sea, where clear, standardized signals prevent potentially catastrophic collisions. As we navigate through this series, keep detailed notes. Breaking down these rules systematically makes them much easier to understand and remember. In our next episode, we'll explore the critical light and shape regulations that allow vessels to communicate their intentions day and night. Remember, understanding these rules isn't just about passing exams. It's about safety for everyone on the water. Hit that subscribe button, enable notifications, and join us for the next installment of our Navigation Rules series. Your knowledge could prevent maritime accidents.